Yeah, school's out. It's time to party. And this year we're heading out with those Donovan dudes and the Shee family again, and heading to Idaho and Montana. But first, it's time for a little bit of fun and a bike ride around Lake Easton. And while we're waiting for everybody to get to the start point of the ride, we had a chance to introduce the dudes to the game of foot down. You're riding around a real tight little circle, and the last guy to put his foot down wins. Pretty typical weather for Easton. Sunshine one moment, rain the next.
Woo! See you at the bridge. Hi. We're at the bridge.
Oh, so make that turn.
As I'm sure you can guess, everybody was pretty excited to have the last day of school.
What's happening? Oh, nice one.
Well, we had a nice evening up at Moich Camp, and then the next morning took off for Idaho. And of course we had a little bit of an adventure along the way. Johnny kind of ran out of gas. Sorry to tell on you, Johnny. We spent a couple of nice nights here at Camp Coeur d'Alene and hung out and rode our bikes, and dudes went swimming.
Well, we're driving up to the East Portal to link up with the Hiawatha Trail.
Hey, dudes. So where are we? Somebody tell me what's going on.
Hiawatha.
This is the route of the Hiawatha. And we're taking our bikes and we're going in that big, dark, scary place right there. So if you hear some screaming, don't be alarmed. So this is the inside of the Taft Tunnel. It was 1.6 miles long and just a muddy, sloppy, wet mess the whole way. And yes, all the dudes loved it.
Slingshot engaged.
Yeah, this route of the Hiawatha was awesome. Lots of big, tall trestles and lots of tunnels. All the other tunnels, of course, drier than that first one. And this cool little guy is called a golden-mantled ground squirrel. I think they're pretty well habituated to people. Well, it was about a 15-mile trip down to the West Portal, and from there we loaded our bikes up on some buses, and they took you back up to the west entrance of that big, long Taft Tunnel again. So we got to do that twice.
It looks,
That was me.
Looks pretty good, bro.
It was all me.
Yeah, what a mess. So from there we went down to St. Regis, Montana, and spent the night there at a cool little campground and got staged up for the
National Bison Range. Let's go have a look.
Well, for this little tour, we were driving through some nice, quiet dirt roads up in the mountains, and I had Cade and Kingston with me.
what's up? Good. Where are we going?
We all piled into the front of the van, and Cade took over the binoculars, and Kingston took over pushing buttons on the dash.
There we go. Swung around to the top of the road here to have a look at that big bruiser.
And then in the winter, they have like so much hair.
Once we got up near the high point of the Bison Range, we got a chance to get out and take a little hike, and went out on this ridge that looked down over this beautiful meadow. This guy's a bitterroot, the Montana state flower.
All right, man, you guys look great. Yeah.
Oh, this cool little mule deer, all in velvet, walked up on us while we were up on the ridge. And And this big bruiser was just sitting right above where we parked our van. He waited for us to get back from the hike. And this is about halfway through, and that's where Kingston took over the driving. Yeah, really, 11 years old. Steering, pedals, brakes, everything. He did a pretty good job, I have to say.
There's a little bird on that guy's back.
Yeah, there's a bird riding on his back.
Well, so much for the Bison Range, and now we're off to Missoula.
We're at the KOA in Missoula. Nice thing about the KOA in Missoula is that every campsite comes with their own bunnies.
I kid you not, there were hundreds of these guys.
We've made a little pilgrimage here to the Adventure Cycling Association. Cool little place I've been affiliated with for years.
So our trip to Missoula was all anchored on this place right here, Brennan's Wave. Both Richie and Johnny wanted to get out there and try their luck on this, so here's some of the locals going at it, I guess showing us how it's supposed to be done. So after checking out the spot, Richie and Johnny rented some boards, and the next morning we went down there and gave it a try.
So we're here in Missoula, Montana.
Yeah.
Gonna go surfing.
Are you?
Yes, not so much me, but Richie is. He's gonna drive down out there and go out there and just rip it.
Just gonna rip it.
Yep.
Well, you gotta hand it to these boys. They sure gave it a try. There's Johnny making his way down that wave train, heading over to the takeoff point.
Johnny's up! He's up! He's up! Woo-hoo.
Come down off your throne and leave your body alone. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting so long. Somebody holds the key. Well, I'm near the end. I just thank God the time. And I'm wasted and I can't find.
That was fun.
Was it good? You look good, man. I got some good pictures, got some movies.
That was fun. It took a while to get up, but
Yeah.
once you kind of got it, you got it.
I thought you started.
All right, let's go big, go home.
Yeah. You look good. I got some pics.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, ready for a nap.
All right.
So let's see, we headed out of Missoula that day and headed on Highway 12 over Lolo Pass. It was a great trip. Our plan was to spend the night down at Hell's Gate State Park. But boys, we rolled into Lewiston. It was just biblical storm with thunder and lightning. And we kind of made the audible call to just kind of pick up stakes and haul for home. Well, Susie and I made it back to Moach Camp by about 8:15 that night. And next morning we got up and put in the vinyl plank floor in the bunkie. And I must say, I think it came out pretty nice. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching.